Mr Chairman, I accept the member's word that there were briefings offered. I am assured from people on my left that the supplementary order paper was not given to people at that, and that the vehicle for the draft legislative vehicle, it was not indicated, it was not supplied a month ago as the member indicated. In fact, it was put on the table of the House, I understand, or was first seen by me last night, late last night, on the table of the House. And I say to that Minister, who should know, of all people who should know better, that this is not the way to do taxation legislation. The key point for this is that you get it to a select committee. You have hearings on it at a select committee, because otherwise, if you take this sort of approach, you have legislation which might otherwise get support from the Labor Party, which might otherwise get support, which will be rejected, and it will be fought. It will be fought on a matter of process, and it will be fought on a matter of detail right to the end, Mr Speaker, because of the approach that's taken, part by part, and if necessary, clause by clause. This legislation will be fought because the National Party and their stooge minister will not go to a select committee. They will not stand up, they will not have the hearings, they will not take the process. I would have thought that that member, who used to be very, very close to Sir Geoffrey Palmer in his approach to legislation, would feel absolutely ashamed with this. This is the fastest lawmaking in the West, and Sir Geoffrey Palmer would have assumed even then that this sort of legislation would go to a committee, because that's the way we do it in New Zealand, Mr Dunn. We don't bring in SOPs in the middle of the night. We don't bring them in the middle of the night and expect, under urgency, expect them to be pushed through with this sort of approach. I sort of, maybe, sir, this is part of the play for Washington. Maybe this is part of the play for Washington on the part of Mr Dunn, but to have him otherwise, he wants London. I apologise. He wants London and not Washington. Mr Speaker, I don't know what possesses the Honourable Peter Dunn, who I might say has generally, over the years, worked with both governments with integrity on tax matters. He has been someone who has pushed process on both governments and done things in the appropriate way. Has slowed people down. But now he is fronting an approach which is wrong. Now, and I say to the member that much of the stuff, it's not an area of absolute expertise of mine, but it's an area that I have looked at pretty carefully in the area of policy development, because it is an important area. Getting it right is very important. And much of this stuff might otherwise have got support. In fact, some of us are of the opinion that the Minister and the things that he's doing is not going far enough. And there are some areas that could have been added to this, and he might have been able to get broader support for Part 1 and the amendments. But what he has done through his approach, Mr Speaker, is lost the support of the Parliament and changed something which could have gone through possibly in half an hour after a select committee hearing into a debate that will, I am sure, take the rest of the day today, the rest of the normal sitting time today, to work through those parts. Mr Speaker, I want now to go back to the very beginning of the supplementary order paper, and I want to be critical. Not, I don't want to reflect at all on the people who are drafting it, but be somewhat critical of the minister, Mr Chairman. I want to be somewhat critical of the minister, Mr Chairman.
Honourable Trevor Maurer, just to remind you, we're now on clauses 1 to 20.
Yeah. Well, I actually think
3 to 20.
3 to 20. That's right. That's what I wanted to focus on, and in particular, new clause 10B of the supplementary. And I want to check, Mr. Chairman, that we are talking to the supplementary order paper, the relevant parts. And can I check that we're talking about, in this particular case, clauses 7, new subclause 7B through to new clauses 19B and 19C. Can I check those are the particular parts of the supplementary order paper we're talking to at the moment? Can I confirm that that's the case?
Yeah, we're on clause 10B, new clauses 19B and 19C.
So not the not 7B. Not 7B. Sorry.
19B and C.
And on the bottom of the page here, it's new clauses 19B, 19C.
Yep.
Because it's within the clauses 3 to 20, which
3 to 20. But can I check going to the front of the supplementary order? We're not talking.
Well, that's clause 2. No, clause 2.
Oh, sorry. That's still. Sorry, I apologise. And that's one of the problems, I think, when you take this. When you take this sort of approach, and I'm obliged to the member that I was looking at the clause 2 looking at the subclauses rather than the clause. I'm obliged to the member because that means that when we get back to clause 2, I can make the points that I was going to make on that. But I'm sure that will be at some stage later in the evening. Mr. Speaker, well, I would have thought that having a clause on the zero rating question. The zero rating question as part of a non-controversial supplementary order paper would have been a little bit stupid and could have been described in that way. Because what it does, Mr. Speaker, it gives the opportunity to my colleagues who I know are very, very concerned that other matters could be zero rated. Some of my colleagues are very, very concerned about what should be zero rated and what should not be zero rated. And Mr. Chairman, I'm sure that by the time that I finish my speech, my colleague Stuart Nash will have put his name on and signed a supplementary order paper which will be tabled, which adds to the question of what should be zero rated if in fact we are going to be considering zero rating of services, because there is under new clause 10B we do get to the question of what should be zero rated and what should not be zero rated. So the member will table, and I'm sure over the next hour or so, as we discuss the other parts of part 1, we will be able to have a debate on the question of zero rating. And Mr. Chairman, the fact that this has been brought into the bill, and you, I presume, have ruled that it's within scope, because, Mr. Chairman, can I just check that in fact there has been a ruling from you, sir, that supplementary order paper on bringing in zero rate. Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Point of order, the Honourable Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to check, sir, that the supplementary order paper has been ruled in scope, that the zero rating question has in fact been ruled to be within the scope of the bill.
It is in scope. I ask the member to continue.
Thank you, sir. Because now that you have ruled that having zero rating of items are within the bill, that opens up the question of zero rating for other items. And I know that there are colleagues on my side of the House who are fiercely keen on having other items that are zero rated, and will be very keen to move supplementary order papers in order to extend this opening which the Minister has made clear has been opened up on the bill.